welcome to Friday Fun Live, where we just hang out with a bunch of crochet friends and talk, yarn the craft, and just say hey to each other and just check in. This is our mental health day for everybody, including me. And I just want to really thank you all for being here. Was just writing some emails earlier today, just reminded of just how I have the best job in the whole wide world, I think. So thank you for making my life a pleasure. And let me turn this just a little bit too much light there. So thank you guys for, who you are, your wonderful attitudes and the way you encourage each other in the chat. Also want to welcome Hannah, my fantastic admin, moderator, bouncer extraordinaire, keeping the chat safe and encouraging and uplifting today. So thank you all for being here. Got some fun things to review, new things to tell you about. But before I get started, I have to first apologize to Jancy, and also say thank you. I just want to give a special thanks. I didn't get to call her out by name last week, and she donated $10 to the super chat to our charitable contribution, and I felt like I didn't exactly spend enough time on that. So Jancy, I just wanted to say, if you're there this week, thank you so much, and I wanted to congratulate you on the grant that you received for your crochet business, and I wish you all the very best with that. Okay. So anyway, that's just very exciting. Sorry for my fidgeting there, trying to fidget with the lights and get everything just right. I've got my window blinds open so that I can look outside and see when the snow begins. We are expecting 1 to 3 inches, which isn't that much, but it's something that we have to be careful of. We live at the top of a hill, so and we're not exactly on the top priority list for plow. So when we do get a little bit of snow and ice, sometimes it's just enough to turn it into a big bobsled with our cars, and we have to be very careful about that. But all that to say, it has warmed up enough so that it can snow. We've been in this polar deep freeze, as many of you have been. So it's been a cold week, guys. All the crochet gear is in full use around here. Well, let me go ahead and say hey to you guys before I start sharing some of the fun stuff. I've got a really fun show and tell later on. Um, it's an update on an old project that I can't wait to show you. I'm so excited about it. It's not my project, but something I'm working on. I just want to say hey to Swati. She says, unfortunately, I'm going to miss today's live because of a work meeting. And she says she'll catch up later. Well, Swati, we hope you are doing well. It's so good interacting with you throughout the week. We have Kelly. She says she has a crochet business. And Kelly, feel free to post what uh, your link or whatever. You're free to do that here. I do want to support you all with your resales on Etsy or wherever you have your store. Although just know that a lot of us crocheters are more interested in making them ourselves, but you never know. There might be somebody out there looking for one of your dog sweaters. She says she's sold some dog sweaters and some hats. I wish you all the best with that. I just want to admonish you in a loving way. Don't undersell your items. If you've put time and energy into this, I would price them a little bit higher than what you posted there. Just because you're worth it. And I'm sure your work is worth far more than $8 for a hat. But anyway, I wish you all the best. Congratulations on that. I know that can be exciting to begin. Hey to Angela in New River, Arizona. And Kelly, let's see, Judy from Brazelton, Georgia, and Wanda Gordon from sunny and cold North Carolina. Yeah, Wanda, it looks like you're going to get more snow than we are. A lot of the snow this past week has gone south of us because it's been so daggone cold here. Um, yeah, Brat's mom, hey Linda, it's good to see you in the chat. And she says, hi all from a cold and snowy, let me get my words right, snowy southwest Chicago suburbs. Yeah, I bet it is snowy up there. And Sandra Clausen, Margita, and Donna from Southern Cal, and Johanna's Creations from the Netherlands, and Red Hooked from Northeast Ohio, and Crochet Renee 81, and wow, a lot of great folks here. Georginia, if I'm saying that right, um, says you won't get to watch. Well, I hope you get to watch the replay. Um, it's funny, whenever I try to respond to you and type in your name, autocorrect always changes that to Virginia, so I have to put it in like 3 times to make sure it sticks. But um, great name there. And oh, we have Esther. Hey, Esther, another one of our moderators is in the chat. I hope you're feeling better, Esther. You all can please pray for Esther. She broke her finger, and that's a big deal when you use your hands as much as we crafters do. So please pray for Esther that she can get the medical care that she needs. She's going to need surgery for that hand. So, and you know, oh, I just treasure my hands and protect them as much as I can. I just have to be really careful, even just lifting heavy things, because it can really mess with them. But Esther, we hope you get better, my friend. Yeah, and it's her pinky. She specified that in the chat. Let's see. Annette Burke is in our chat, and Cynthia, did I say that right? That's right. Yeah, and then Cynthia Burke, too. Well, you have 2 Burkes in a row. Let's see. Annette is from, okay, Annette's in South Carolina. I knew that. And Cynthia is in a frigid Illinois. And Sandra's in the chat. Hey, Sandra, my Georgian friend. And Heather from Frosty, Maryland. I hope you got your salt ready for your walkway, Heather, because you know this stuff could probably turn. It could just be a little bit of snow we're gonna get, but you know it's gonna turn to ice for the morning. It's gonna be kind of crazy out there. And Kathy Lynn, and let's see, Leanne. From the Isle of Wight. Thank you for joining us again, Leanne. I just love seeing that destination in our chat for some reason. I just would love to go to some of those isles, those little islands surrounding, yeah, over there in the UK. We have Uchi, from Germany. Forgive me for pronouncing that. I can't even pronounce pronunciation, but anyway, and thank you for your kind comment there, Kelly Hart. And we have Brenda Max says, good morning from POC. Okay, I'm not sure what that is, but that's okay. I'm not real good with acronyms. And we have Archernays. Hey, good to see you, Terry and Sandra. Let's see, Audrey Jones from Scotland. Wow. And Brenda Mack. Okay, from Pocatello, Idaho, where it is 5 degrees at 10 a.m. Oh my goodness, or as they say in the Lego movie, oh my good gosh, that is so cold. Cannot imagine. I can't imagine. I remember it was that cold in my garage years ago when I was living, this is, gosh, back in 1989, my first really, really cold winter of my life, coming from Florida and then South Carolina and then up to Massachusetts and Andover, Massachusetts, just south of the New Hampshire border. I remember it was 4 degrees and my 1985 Mazda, it was called a GLC. Do you remember the GLCs? It was just a 4 little car. It didn't, had no power windows, had no power anything, but I liked it that way because it all worked. But I went to put the key in the car. Yeah, the days where you had to put the key in the car and to turn it. And this was inside the garage, not outside. Turned the key and it was so cold that it changed the shape of the metal. I'm not kidding. The key just felt really fidgety and weird because it was 4 degrees inside the garage. We were renting a duplex, and we happened to have a garage, which is fantastic when you live in the north where there's a lot of snow. It really saves a lot of time getting out the door. But yeah, it changed the shape of the metal, guys. That is cold. And that's also the same year that we drove our car, the same car, the little Mazda GLC, on Lake Winnipesaukee. That was huge. That was, I know I've shared that story before, but I still look back and marvel that we drove our car on a lake, and it was safe to do so. It was the Park Service comes and they put the cones out where they don't want you to go. But I mean, this lake was more than a mile and a half or so, I'm guessing, wide. It was huge. And you could just drive across to your neighbor on the other side of the lake without a problem. That's how cold it gets in some places. Isn't that unbelievable? Um, for the Florida girl, yeah, that was unbelievable. Um, well, stay warm, Brenda. Yeah, Brad's mom is sympathizing with Esther there about the pinky. Yeah, that would be horrible. It just reminds me of like whenever you hit your little toe on your foot. I mean, it's just like the whole world comes. It comes to scream when something like that happens. But we use our hands so much. We really need them to be functioning if we can. We have Discovering Hope from snowy Rochester, New York. Yeah, I know you guys are freezing. um, and oh, and Yuchi says that says I live in South Germany near Stuttgart. Ah, very cool. Um, would love to go there someday. We love visiting your beautiful country. When we were there back in 2013 with the family, um, it was just a wonderful, wonderful trip all around. We have let's see, Phyllis Price is in the chat, and see Michelle from sunny Montana. Oh, thank you, Wanda. She likes my poncho. Yeah, this is my good old standby. My it's a blue sapphire alpaca poncho. It's in this book. It's also available as a PDF download on my Lovecrafts channel. I'm sorry, Lovecraft store, and where I keep a lot of my patterns for sale. But yeah, this is my go-to. I have this one in the emerald color, and I have one in blue, and I've got a lot of wear and tear on them. They just are my go-to. It's very cold here, like I said. I'm talking about that too much, but if you hear a funny sound in the background, I've decided to leave my heat on today so that it doesn't get too cool in here. So thanks for your understanding on that. I know you guys from the north get it for sure. Uh, let's see. Slow today. We have Rosie King from Lincolnshire. Says busy crocheting the Abigail shawl in navy at the moment. Thank you for such a lovely pattern. My pleasure, Rosie. I would love to see a picture of it when you are finished. Um, that was a lot of fun to do. I like doing these shawls. Which reminds me, two things. Let me go ahead and tell you this. Two things that I'm really, really excited to bring to you guys very shortly. Monday, I have an interview. It's a longer interview. It's about 45 minutes or so long. So if you don't have time right away, definitely save the video and maybe Saturday morning or I don't know. This is coming on Monday, but whenever you have time or if you're snowed in, it's one of those things. Grab your crochet, grab a cup of tea or your coffee, and sit and listen with me. I am introducing my friend Karen Hooley. Some of you already know her. Oh, thank you, Archer and Ace. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Archer and Ace just contributed to the kitty there. Okay, that $5. Thank you, Archer and Ace. Thank you, Terry. If I'm remembering that right. And thank you. That brings us up to $20 towards our next crazy song. Whenever we hit $100, for the charitable contribution, we bring you a silly song, and just to say thank you, and to just say, I don't pressure anybody or ever, say you got to do this, that, and the other thing. I don't roll that way, but if you feel like you want to contribute in that way, that would be great. Last month, we just contributed $100 to the Rancho 3M. This coming month, we're going to be contributing to Children's Shriners Hospital for Children. So we alternate between those two right now, and I think that's probably what we're going to do for quite some time. But thank you, Terry, for your generosity. But anyway, Monday, be on the lookout for the interview that I had with Karen. I think you're going to really enjoy meeting Karen Hooley. She's been crocheting let me try this again. She's been designing crochet designs for many years, and I think maybe like 5 or 10 years longer than I have. And she's been in the industry a long time. Oh, thank you, Heather. Oh my goodness, um, Heather, thank you so much. You just brought us up to, it looks like 25 total. So thank you for your contribution there. And then Audrey just boosted it again. So we're gonna call that up to $30 already. Thank you guys. You are so kind. Um, so anyway, Monday, Monday will be the interview with Karen. And I really hope you enjoy this. It's not real edgy or anything like that, as you well know. This is a really a sweet friend of mine. I've known her for at least 10 years, and going back and forth. She's had some pretty interesting. She has some great designs out there. She's the one I always point to for sock designs. If you're looking to, I have her leaflet in the other room, but she does crochet socks. She does a lot of really cool shawls, um, sweaters, and things like that. So if you look her up, it's Hooley with a WHOL. WHOOLEY is her last name, Hooley. Um, but she just has a lot of very accessible, easy to crochet items that, especially if you're a beginner, I think you would really like following Karen. She really has some great stuff. She's a great teacher, and she's had some struggles. She's recovering. I mean, this not really a spoiler alert for the video, but she does talk about um, is recovering from cancer right now too. So she's younger than I am, and dealing with a lot of struggles in life, but doing it with a smile. And she's a woman of faith, and I really admired that about her as well. So I think you're going to enjoy it. Um, Check it out, and she is going to have a special coupon for if you ever want to look at her designs or anything. There's going to be a special coupon just for you guys, just for my peeps, um, as a part of kind of saying thank you. And also I encourage you to just check out her site once that video releases. um, I spent the entire day yesterday, the entire day, well, from 11 o'clock on, um, filming another video with a friend that I met at the Frederick Fiber Fair, or Fiber Fest, back in, I think it was November 2021. I'd seen her work before, but I actually had time to talk to her afterwards, kind of like grabbed her with both hands just about and said, we need to do a video together. I want you to show my friends what you do, because it's just so fantastic. She has many, well, I'm not even going to talk to you about it yet, because I'm going to save that for next week. I'm hoping to do an unboxing of some of the items that I ordered from her. But just be aware that in 2 weeks there will be a special video that will teach you how to wear shawls in ways you've never seen before, that are just fantastic, uh, flattering, and will take the simplest little shawl that you have and make it look amazing. So stay tuned for that in 2 weeks. I'm really, really excited. And if you want to do a sneak peek, no, I'm not even going to tell you this site. I'm going to wait, because I'm going to let you think about it, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait because I'm really excited. I don't want to give just a little piecemeal of what she does and spoil anything. I want you to see what she does, because it is so unique, and I think you're really going to like it. So anyway, well, let's see. What do we have? Let me see. Anybody? Let me see. I'm getting behind in the chat here, as always. We have Sandra. I can't pronounce the last name, but Sandra O from the UK, and Wanda from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Thank you for joining us. And Joanne, she says anywhere from 18 to 24 inches here in Massachusetts tomorrow. Oh my goodness, get your shovel ready, Joanne. You're going to need them. We haven't had that much in here in Gaithersburg in a long time. I was looking at the radar, and there's like a big blob coming this way, and then a big blob, and they're all coming like this on the radar, and we're like right in between the blobs. So we're like on the fringes of these two big masses of moisture or snow or whatever. So we'll see. You never know, that whole thing could shift downwards and cream us. I don't know, but that's a lot of snow. Joanne, that reminds me of when we lived up there, because we were in the snow belt, as they called it, just south of the border there. So wow, enjoy it. Hope you have lots of yarn. um, all right, we have Becky Potts in the chat from Minnesota, and let's see, Paulina from Winnipeg, I guess Manitoba. Is that right? Um, and Namina Park from very cold North Carolina coast. Yeah, yeah. My kids down in Georgia got snow this week. I mean, it didn't stick and stay around or anything, but to check your weather report on your phone when you live in the South and you see snowflakes on there, like what? Hannah's expecting snow tomorrow, right, Hannah? I mean, how often do you get snow, outside Myrtle Beach? That's crazy. But anyway, enjoy it. It does happen. It's not so abnormal. I mean, I remember getting snow in Columbia, South Carolina, back in the 80s. I mean, it happens. It just doesn't happen a lot. It's a big deal when it happens. It makes the news. um, okay, Kelly Hart says you are breaking up big time, but I can still understand what you're saying. Yeah, maybe you got, hopefully, I don't know. I don't think it's on my end, Kelly, but I could be wrong. Um, ooh, we have Bonnie from South Carolina. Says came south for warmer weather. Ha ha. Glad I have my winter coat. Yeah, I have two winter coats, or an old winter coat and a newer winter coat. And whenever I go to South Carolina, since um, it's just big and bulky to carry in the car with me, what I'll do is I'll leave my coat in one in Maryland, and I have one in the closet in South Carolina, and I never took it out last year. It was such a mild winter down in Conway last year. I never took it out. You only had to wear a vest or I don't know, like a sweatshirt, zippy kind of thing. Never really had to bump up to the winter coat. So I am this year. I am this year. I'm gonna have to carry one down because I brought that one up thinking I wouldn't need it, but it looks like I'm gonna have to carry it back with me. We have Stephanie from San Antonio. Um, and let's see, we have Jacqueline LaFridge. Good morning. Good to see you in the chat. And Denise. Um, Joanne says she's just jealous, Hannah. I love the snow. Yeah, we love it too, but to a point. We have VJ Capablanca from British um, Columbia, Canada. He said British, yes, burr. I got that one. That's good. We have Lyneth, if I'm saying that right, from sunny Cape Town, South Africa. Yeah, you guys are having summer. Enjoy that. Speaking of summer in the Southern Hemisphere, we've been enjoying watching the Australian Open quite a bit um, out of Melbourne. And yeah, we love watching tennis and would love to see that doubles match, but we can't because we don't have the special service. But one of our favorite Aussie tennis players is playing in the doubles final. It's an all Aussie doubles men's final, so that's going to be real exciting if you guys are following that at all. I would love to see that one, but can't. But it's just really funny seeing people just so sweaty and hot and talking about the oppressive heat, and it's like, bring it over here. No, I'm just kidding. But it's just boggles my mind still just how the southern and the northern hemispheres are so very different. We have Tammy from a windy Southern California, and Phyllis says, I crocheted hats and scarves every winter and put them in our complex laundry room for those who need. That is so kind of you, Phyllis. That is a great idea. Um, that reminds me, I've got a bag of designs too that I probably need to take to a shelter or a women's shelter or something locally. Um, they're designs that I would sell at craft fairs years ago, but I haven't done craft fairs in so long, and it's just not, it doesn't bless me, let's just say. I enjoy being out there with the people, but it costs me more to do the show than, it's just I have to pay to participate because the income from the sale of these things is so low. So I just decided to, years ago, just to give away what I had in my stock, and I've got one more bag to go. So I'd rather give them away than, yeah, anyway, long story. Oh, thank you. Grace, thank you so much. You just bumped us up to $40, my friend. Thank you for your kind contribution there. You guys are just really rocking it today. Wow. Um, catch up. Oh, we have Crochet Done My Way with Wanda, our trucker friend. Um, says afternoon, all waiting to get fuel, headed home for the weekend. I am so glad you're in the chat. Thank you for listening, Wanda. I tagged you on something this week on today on Facebook. I hope you saw it. Where um, it's a story out of Atlanta, Georgia. No. It's not out of Atlanta. I think the lady was in Canada. She was injured, I think, or attacked on her nursing position in the hospital because things had gotten so bad, and then she changed her career into being a truck driver. So she took to the road instead. I mean, from one critically needed job to another critically needed job. But I thought it was a very interesting story, so I tagged you on. I hope you get a chance to take a look at that. But which reminds me, all you gals and guys out there who are working as nurses, God bless you. I just we need to pray for you all more. My daughter-in-law is a nurse. She's not working in a hospital setting. She's in home care, which is just as needed. But tough job for you guys right now, and just pray that this pandemic passes soon so that you can catch your breath. And just thank you, everybody out there serving us in that way. It's such a critical job, and so important. I just hope more people can go into the field, and we need it. um, I think even where my husband works, he works at a research hospital, and I know that I think that's a little bit different there, but it's it's a great it's a job we can't live without as a society for sure. So thank you for your service. Um, oh, we have Kelly from, is it Kova Crochet? Um, in She says, hi all in the snowstorm zone here in southeastern Virginia. Not thrilled. Yeah, and for those of you who aren't familiar with the southern parts of the United States, I know it's real easy for people up north to kind of chuckle at the South when they get snow and ice. But seriously, we don't, when you're in these certain parts that don't get a lot of snow very often, it's not cost effective to maintain equipment and things to take care of this. So when it happens, it's really rough on the inhabitants of these areas. um, I still remember a terrible time a couple years ago when Atlanta was hit with an ice storm at rush hour. I mean, it was just horrible. And just even a couple weeks ago, this area made the news in the I-95, just within an hour's drive of my home here. It was horribly shut down when a storm hit, and the roads had, nobody was prepared for it, and it just took everybody by surprise. And it's just hard. It's harder, and when you're in the South, you tend to get more ice than you do snow. And as one of my favorite pastors used to say, um, we're not afraid of snow, but ice we respect. And so in the South, you do get a lot more ice, and it's not the fun snow; it's the awful snow that nobody can drive in. So yeah, it's not as funny as it may sound, and people are not as inept in those regions as other people may be quick to mock. It's a different scenario. It's not having the equipment, not really needing the equipment except maybe once in a blue moon, or actually once in a decade. So it is harder. It's harder. And I think too, when it's damp outside, I think I think it just makes it colder. Whenever I'm cold in the South with the colder weather, it just feels colder because of the humidity. But maybe that's just me. Um, but anyway, okay, I'll stop my weatherizing here. um, We have Sue Ann from, she says, good morning from snowed in Western New York. Bitter temps here. Wind chill tonight, -20. Woo, stay warm, my friend. I hope you can maintain power. I mean, that's the other thing living in the extreme north. If you lose power, you lose heat, and that's a problem. Which is why I hope my next house has a fireplace. This one does not, but we have a front porch, just not a fireplace. Um, Michelle says, looking to get anywhere from 18 inches to 3 feet, depending on who you listen to here in Massachusetts. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. That's a lot. We've had that here in Gaithersburg when the kids were growing up a few times, but and it's memorable when that happens. But it felt like a hamster going through hamster tubes with snow on either side. It's crazy. Um, oh, we have Ms. Ritz from London. Thank you for joining our chat. And Crafty Dawn in England. And Rhonda What's on the Hook in Tennessee. She says, still not feeling well, but glad to be here for a few. Love to all. That's so sweet. And Liz2464, hello to you, my friend. And Denise says, warm woolies are necessary. Absolutely, they sure are. And Matilda, if I'm saying that right, Hannah, if you can translate that for me, that would be great. And I just got a note from Hannah, probably earlier, Hannah, sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you there. From Archer Nace, working on the Aero stitch baby blanket. I think they are a little loose. Should I use a smaller hook? That's a good question. This is about the Aero baby blanket, which is in my baby blankets books. It's also a free, I mean, I'm sorry, it's also a PDF in my store. The video is on this channel. Just know that the Aero stitch is more of an open weave stitch. So you can try a smaller hook on that. It depends on what yarn you're using. Well, let me go ahead and show you some things. You've seen this already, but I'm going to go ahead and show you again. This is folded in half, but maybe you can see all the stitches better this way. Well, I'll go ahead and open it. This is the crochet along that starts on February 14th, Valentine's Day. This is the Grace, or the Throw of Grace. And people oftentimes will ask, well, what size is that? This one is 49 inches by 55 inches. So it's not a huge blanket. If you wanted to make it larger, you could always add more rounds of popcorn. You could possibly add more rounds here. Just know the numbers on the other stitches might be slightly off, but if you're smart, you could, I mean, if you've done these stitches before, you could probably adjust. It's just adding stitches to the corner. It's probably already too much information, but I'm going to get a little bit closer and just show you this is worked in the round or in a square, but going around in rounds. And let me give you a view of the edging, which I really enjoyed designing. And this responds well, the edging in particular, responds well to blocking. I highly recommend that you block this particular design. I wet blocked it, and I do talk about that in the video. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back. There we go. Got to put it back nice and neat. Now, some information for this in the video description. If you're looking for a kit, this is not an affiliate link or anything. This is just a store who has offered to put these together for a kit. I'm not profiting from this. This is just a way. If you want to get the same yarn that I used, honestly, you can use any worsted weight acrylic yarn for this. The reason I went with the Cascade, it's a little bit more expensive yarn. I will say that up front. The Cascade Anthem, Cascade Yarns Anthem is the name of the yarn I used. And the main reason is because I was drawn to their color palette. They have a lot of really beautiful colors, so that it makes going from light to dark a lot easier. A lot of yarn companies just don't have enough color selection in their color palettes to be able to do that, which is why I didn't go with Love Crafts on this one. Now, but that said, paint box yarns would be an excellent choice to sub for this. I mean, you could use Red Heart, you can use, whatever you like. And I always like to encourage people, get what's available in your area, what's available in your country. If, don't ship to the US for US yarn. If you have a good substitute in your country, I mean, just save yourself all that money in shipping, quite honestly. Um, but that said, I did like using the Anthem acrylic yarn. And there is a store in Chicago called yarnify.com. There is a link in the video description below, and she can put a kit together with all the colors for you and send that to you. It's not the most economical way to do it. I mean, you can always use yarn from your stash if you want, or select, just you can change up the colors. I am planning on making another one like this, and I'll show it to you once the yarn arrives and I start working on it. But I'm going to make one in a solid color because I think this would be a really great candidate for just a solid color. It's going to be a medium to light color that I'm going to use. I wouldn't use a real dark color on this because you're just not going to see the texture. Um, but the yarn that you would need is in the video description. You can look at the yarn requirements. So if you want to substitute with something else, you can easily calculate the yardage and find what you need. If you do this in a solid color, you're going to probably need a little bit less than what I have listed there on the number of skeins because the number of, or the balls of yarn are for, to cover the usage of each color in the design. So you might have a little bit of overage, and if you do, you could just make a matching pillow or something with it, or add it to your stash for the next crochet along, or hat scarf pattern or something like that. Um, and this will be in 3 videos starting on February 14th. These will also be uploaded to my watch channel. The written pattern will be available in my Lovecraft store. For my watch subscribers, it will be complimentary and will be a PDF download as usual. So just know that. So I'm really excited if you can join me starting February 14th on that. I think you're going to like this one. It is for intermediate crocheters. As I say a lot, confident beginners are welcome to give it a try, but this is going to be a little more difficult. If you've never done these kinds of stitches before, you might want to check out either some of my stitch videos in my Aran Celtic playlist on this channel, or look at one of the other designs, other throws that kind of crochet them in straight rows, because crocheting them around with corners can get a little sticky, can get a little more challenging, especially if you've never done these before. So I hope, just a little bit of advice there. I just don't want anybody to make this the first thing they try and they get absolutely totally frustrated with me and the design. I mean, I want you to have success in whatever you try. So but those of you who've struggled with some of these designs with me and come out shining, give this one a try. I really thought long and hard about this, and I tried to be even more detailed and clear as I turned the corners on these stitches. So I tried to be as emphatically clear as I possibly could be. Again, not perfect. I haven't reached the perfection level yet, as none of us have, but I have tried to make this one as accessible as possible. Okay, and Hannah just sent me a question earlier about Annette Burke wants to know if I'll be releasing this early on the watch channel. I might do that. We'll see. I still have more work to do before I can release them on the watch channel. The videos are all set. The pattern is all set. Waiting for the start date, and part of what will delay me is I still need to do the closed caption editing. As you know, we are starting to add closed captions and multiple languages and to these videos as we roll them out, as we roll out the new instructional videos. So it's going to take me probably 5 or 6 hours the to review the closed captions before I can release them. Otherwise, I would just pop them up there now for you guys. But I'm gonna hold back because I want them to be complete when they do go out. So I just need to maybe be working on them during the snowstorm, um, which is really interesting. Hearing yourself talk on and on and on when you're editing these things, it really puts me to sleep because I have to listen and verify the written part to make sure it's talking about yarn and not something totally different, which the algorithm will oftentimes substitute. And if you're curious as to how it can mess up, I do have a video on the oopsies, the translation oopsies on my channel. It's interesting. You get some really wild stuff, so I have to make sure that we're not doing that. Okay. Um, Cynthia says she hasn't seen the crochet along throw kit at Yarnify yet. Um, I don't know that it's going to be something on their website. You may want to give them a call or even email them. Actually emailed her this morning, Cynthia, just to see if there are any questions and to see how things are going. Um, this is not something that we're working directly with. This is something that Cascade Yarn Company, my contact there, told me about. It's kind of like through a third party, so it's just in case you want a kit. This is not something that I'm pushing real hard on, but it just to let you know that it's there. As soon as I find out more or get a response from the email I sent today, I will let you know. Let's see. Well, let me tell you one more thing. Got my paper. Where is it? Right here. To share with you. Many of you may know I'm an official crochet instructor. I hope that's not backwards. Probably is, but anyway. Oh, it's not. Okay, good. It's not backwards. Official crochet instructor at Yarn Fest. Woohoo! In Interweave. This is in Loveland, Colorado. I talked a little bit about this last week. April 20th through the 23rd. And I'm really looking forward to getting on an airplane and heading out there. I've already got my reservation at the hotel. I just need to get my plane ordered. People are signing up for these classes, so it looks like it is a go. I have reached my minimum for at least 2 of the classes. So if you're still interested in signing up, go ahead and check out the link below. I don't know if the early bird thing is valid any longer, but you can always give it a try, and I think I might have some information there. Let's see, I'm going to be teaching 3 classes. I'm going to be teaching a class on turning easy crochet fabric into your favorite scarf or shawl, and this is going to be a very design centric class. So it's going to be part lecture, it's going to be some swatching, and then you're going to be designing something that you make. You make from start to finish. You're not going to have time, obviously, to complete the entire project during the class time, but it is a 6-hour class, and I'm hoping that you'll get a lot of information so that you will feel confident to do this again and again and again. Designing your own scarf or shawl. I will be rolling out some videos on my Watch channel that will be a similar class. It's not going to be the exact, because obviously if you're in person and checking as progress is being made minute by minute and swatching together in a room together, it's very different than, let's say, watching somebody on a video. But I am going to be rolling out a class which is very similar to this, where you can also learn how to design, but it will not be on YouTube. It will only be on my Watch, for my Watch subscribers. And I'm also going to be teaching a class on the big and bold cables, like cables that look like this. And we're going to be covering different styles and learning the basics of how these are formed. And that's a 3-hour class. And then there's going to be another 6-hour class, should you be interested, on how to design your own poncho or stole. We're going to talk from beginning to end, from inspiration to sketching to starting the poncho. Again, we're not going to have time in that 6-hour class to complete a poncho, obviously, but I believe you'll have all the tools you'll need to finish the project that we focus on in class that you design, and as well as the toolbox to apply that to another design in the future, whether it be a stole or a poncho or what have you. And a lot of the design ideas in both of these classes can be applied to really anything, but we're going to just focus on the garments at hand. So and that class will also be rolled out in video, a similar video format. It'll be a multi-video format to my watch subscribers in the future as well. So if I'm delayed in getting to you on email and responding online, that's why I am so busy. I feel like I'm juggling a bunch of balls in the air and just hoping not to drop any of them. But they're really good. They're really good fun yarn balls, so we're good on that. And let's see. Okay, show and tell. I gotta show you this now. I can't hold up any longer. Do you remember I told you I was going to try to make a sweater? And I got this book, and I actually had to buy a second one because I lost the first one between here and South Carolina somewhere. But I saw this sweater on the front of the book. This is a Knit Picks design, a Knit Picks book, and it is just full of these amazing sweaters in here with these yokes, and whew. And I thought that looks hard enough to be a challenge, don't you think? And it was with fear and trepidation I started to do this sweater about 2 years ago. This was at the beginning of the pandemic, and I have to start and stop. And part of the thing is learning which equipment I really needed and all of that, because this is the absolute very first sweater that I am knitting. So I finally finished the sleeves, and this is a knit sweater from the bottom up. So look how far I've gotten on this. I am so excited about this. And you can see the sleeves and the ribbing here and the bottom. And I am just about to start my first decrease row on the yoke. And I'm not superstitious, but I hope I don't curse myself and say I'm really loving this. It has been a learning process. I have learned a lot. I've made plenty of mistakes, but again, that's how you learn. And this feels amazing. The yarn that I'm using for this is called Wonder Fluff. It's the recommended yarn for the sweater, because I figured, well, if I'm making a sweater for the first time, I should probably not be too avant-garde and try to switch up the yarn. So I had to wait for this yarn to come in, and instead of going with the grays, I went with the browns and the different shades of browns, which I think is going to look even better for me to wear personally than the grays would have been. So and what I've learned, and this is what I want to kind of encourage you all in the crochet world with cables and stuff. I mean, when I first looked at this, I just thought, yeet gads, and they have these charts, and if you look at the whole sweater and the whole chart at first, let me take this off. Yeah, I'm on row 18. Okay, so when you look at this, you're like, yikes, that's too much to take in. Well, of course it is, but if you take one line at a time, like I did, like I'm doing, I use my little sticky. So all I have to look at is that one row. You see that one row? It's just all dark. So it's just all the dark color. The row before that was one light, one dark, one light, one dark. So, I mean, I am learning how to knit with the English style, because when you're doing colors, it's like I have continental with the one yarn on one hand and then the other yarn on the other hand. It's a little weird, but I'm learning, and but all that to show you that when you whittle it down just one row at a time or one round at a time, and a lot of these cable projects, that's what we're talking about. You don't look at the whole thing and try to compute the whole thing at once. No, it's just one row at a time. One, like reading a whole book. Like can you imagine like like a Bible, reading a Bible. Oh my gosh, how do you do that? Well, the same way you do the sweater, one line at a time, one sentence at a time. And when you break it down like that, it's very doable. So I'll keep you posted on the sweater. I'm going to wear this thing as soon as I can. um, so anyway, I will update you on that. I'm just want to encourage you, step out of the boat, as I say. Try something new. Try something, you don't want to drown, but try something hard, just a little bit. Just learn the next step on something, and um, you can do it. You can do it, and allow yourself to be imperfect, and allow yourself to make mistakes. I mean, it's just like life. I mean, we all make mistakes. I've made probably more than my fair share, but yeah, okay. Hannah sent me another text here. Phyllis Price asked if cable stitch holders are valuable are valuable are they a valuable tool? Um, yes, yes. But for knitting, yes. It depends on what you're knitting. And let me show you why. I have actually two. I have some in progress right here. This is the body of the sweater, and this is the sleeve. And this whole project is just crocheted going round, and knit going round and round and round and round. I haven't had to sew anything, but I will have to connect the underarm to this under part of the sweater here. So that's the that was one of the items, the tools I had to wait and get these during the pandemic, and it took a long time to get them because this was back last year or two when nothing was being shipped. So I had to wait for um, something called DPNs, which is an acronym for double pointed needles. I had to have 3 different sizes of double pointed needles. So I'm like, and then learning how to use double pointed needles was, I was swimming with sharks on that one, I will say. But once I figured out a way that will work for me, we're good to go. But I still don't like using double pointed needles. I like using the circular, but um, learned a lot from it. But as far as crochet goes, since you're only doing one stitch at a time, I never have had a need for these that I can recall. Now, if you're using maybe Tunisian, I don't know, you might benefit from the stitch holders. And they have different sizes. They have really big ones too that I had to use for parts of the sweater earlier. But yeah, learning all kinds of stuff. Um, all right, let's see. Oh, we have Crafty Dawn from England in our chat. I'm getting back to the chat, guys. Um, we have Rhonda. What's on the hook? She says, I'm here in Tennessee, still not feeling well, but glad to be here for a few. Love to all, many prayers needed. Well, Rhonda, I hope you are feeling better, my friend. We will pray for you. Um, and let's see. Did I read that already? I don't remember. And let's see. Francesca from Minnesota says we have a high of 10 degrees today and a low of -9. Yikes. And Judy says, I fell over Christmas and fractured my T12 bed. I'm sorry. Medically, I don't understand that abbreviation, but gosh, Judy, I do understand the word fractured. I am so sorry to hear that. Becky Potts says, just add it to the dictionary and spell check. Yeah, I'll have to do that if you're talking about the translation. Yeah, we'll have to see what we can do. Thank you, Kelly, for praying for Esther. I so appreciate that. I don't know why my nose is itching, guys. It's keep touching. I shouldn't do that. Let's see. We got a lot of. We have Harriet Cutter in the chat. Hey, Harriet, it's good to see you. Anyone that has the same name as my mom always stands out to me. And let's see. Oh, you guys like this sweater. Thank you. I'm just looking at some of those crafts. A crafter's Grimoire Sanctuary says, I think I'm reading into a conversation there. Oh, wow. It sounds like a serious response about wearing a sweater instead of a poncho due to seizures. Wow. Let me see if I can back up. Okay. So you're going to bid on a fleece on eBay, is what she was saying earlier, and spin it to make a cable poncho for my dear friend. Wow, you've got some skills if you can spin yarn. I know a lot of people do that, but excuse me, that's not something I'll be getting into just due to lack of time. But I admire people who do that. That would take a long time for me to do something like that. Wow, that's great of you to do that. Um, oh, thank you, Sandra, for your congrats. It's funny how they say, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's funny when people say expert crochet instructor. I'm just, I don't know. I'm a little, I don't know. I guess I'm a little not real quick to add that to my title or anything. But if you guys want to, okay, go ahead. But thank you, Sandra. Uh, Okay, I am way behind. It looks like I'm not going to get to all these comments today, guys, but I'm just trying to see if there's anybody I missed. We have Red Hooked in the chat. Hey, Red Hooked. Um, I will have to read most of these when I get back. Hopefully, nothing too serious going on. Ness Bolton is wondering if you could do a crochet poncho that has a summer theme. She really enjoys the Peter stitch mixed in with some puff and bobble stitches. That's a great idea, Ness. I do have one with cables. It's kind of like an airy lace summer poncho. I don't know if you've seen that one. And I use a sport weight cotton. I believe I used Cascade Yarns Pima cotton, but you can use any cotton that you like as long as it's the lighter weight. Don't use that real chunky stuff for dishcloths because that would not bless you. But it's on my channel. If you go to the home page and click um, on what do you call it? Categories, playlist. I'm sorry. Click on playlist and look for ponchos. It's listed there. It's very pink, and you'll see my beautiful daughter-in-law um, modeling it for me. So that is one, but it is different than what you're recommending. I'm not sure what the Peter stitch is. I haven't heard of that, but there are many stitches out there now. I'd have to look that one up. Maybe that's something you could even design. I think the class that I'll be teaching at Interweave at Yarn Fest will really prepare you to make your own poncho or stole or whatever, like you're requesting, because it's going to be based on this style, the panel style ponchos. Um, so so that might be something you want to check out, and you can just add whatever stitches you want to these ponchos, which is really what I want to do, is just really empower you all to go do what you want to do instead of waiting for somebody else to do it. Just do it. If you don't see it, do it. Um, Annette says she wants to enlarge the gray throw. Please include advice as to the best points and rows to do this. That's not going to be included, Annette, in the videos themselves, because I think it would complicate things and confuse a lot of people. But you can always just add additional rows of popcorn or additional rows of um, the honeycomb stitch, and then just work the other rows as you know how to work them. The only thing that might be a little bit different is, the stitch count will be a little bit different, and if you work the cable stitch, you might have to add a single crochet here or there in a slightly different place than what the video shows when you get to the corners. But as long as you do the corners the same and everything, you should be fine. Um, so I mean, I think it would be a real simple adjustment, I think, for that, especially you, since you've done so many. I think you've done these before. I think you would do fine with them. Heather says, currently working on Mosaic Crochet, one of my many works in progress. Anyone done that? I'm falling in love with it. I've seen many of them. I haven't done that yet, Heather, but I love the color changes, and I've seen a lot of that online, and it looks fantastic. I hope you really enjoy it. And send me a picture. I'd love to see what you're working on. Um, Okay, so I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody new. We have, is it, okay, there's, it looks like spammo. Okay, I have to take care of that later. Um, let's see. Oh, we have Emily in the chat. Hey, Emily, it's good to see you there. Um, and let's see. We have TJ Leverock. Um, and she likes the, okay, she says email Yarnify. Okay, thank you, TJ. Concerning the kits for the crochet along, she said just email them directly. Don't wait for something to appear on the web page. Just email them directly. Tell them you want a kit. And I think they're having to order it, but she said, okay, said that they're wonderful and fast. The yarn is beautiful. So she's already gotten her yarn from them. So just email them directly. That one reason why I was recommended, I know I'm jumping around, look, this is again about the throw. One reason that I'm recommending that store is because it was recommended by Carly Waters of Cascade Yarns, and she said that this lady already carries all the colors. And you know how hard it is when you go to the store and you want to make an Afghan, try to find 15 or 20 skeins of yarn or hanks of yarn in any color, the same dye lot for a single project. It's impossible. You can't do it. I have tried for years, and oftentimes I'll have to order it, or I'll have to take a risk that this one dye lot is not as bad as I think it might be. And I've done that and been burned before. So that's another reason why it's always good when you're doing a larger project to just go ahead and order the yarn, and do check to make sure that they sent you all the same dye lot, or even when you're requesting it, make sure they know you need this to be all the same dye lot. Um, that helps a lot. Uh, and with digital photography, if you don't have all the same dye lot, uh, you will find out later after the fact. Even if your eye can't detect it, the camera can. Oh, I have a sob story about that, but I will spare you all. I will spare you all that one. Um, and let's see. I just got. Okay, we have. Let me just make sure there's nobody new in the chat. I think I've talked. I just want to make sure I'm greeting everybody. I so appreciate your comments, so I will go back over those afterwards. Uh, Give me a second. Oh, we have Carolyn McGalvin. I don't know if I've seen your name up here in the chat yet. Um, she says, "Oh, you're gonna make me pick up my knitting needles." Lana would be so proud and surprised. I'm gonna wear it into her store, Carolyn. I am not going to show her until I'm finished. By the way, Carolyn in our chat, she is my fantastic, fabulous um, tech editor. She's helping me to make sure she's helping me to edit my designs these days, and she is a fantastic teacher, teaching at So Original. It's the yarn store in Columbia, Maryland. So if you're looking for a class to take, sign up with Carolyn. You will have a great time. She's the only thing better than her crochet is her smile, and I think you would love meeting this lady. So if you're in Maryland, even within an hour or so of Columbia, Maryland, check out So Original Yarn Store and sign up for classes, because they have knitting and they have crochet classes. Very crochet friendly store, and you'll only come away learning more about yarn, even with a single visit to this place. So it's great to see you, Carolyn. I was had to connect in my brain a little bit. I'm really glad I looked down here. And Jane Chapman says, your sweater is gorgeous. I can't knit due to arthritis in my hands. Love it. Yeah, you know what though, Jane, I found that knitting is less taxing on my hands than crochet. Because with crochet, I think because I go so fast, I need to slow down, but I can't slow down because I'm excited for the next row. You know how that goes. But with knitting, I'm slow, but I'm relaxed enough to where I can do this, and it has become enjoyable. I mean, I've done it enough to where it has become relaxing. I never thought I'd ever use the two words knitting and relaxing in the same sentence, but it has become that. It's been about 5 years or so, I think, since Lana sat me down and made me learn using the continental style. And if anybody's interested in picking up knitting needles and giving it a go, I do have some beginning knitting uh, tutorials on my channel here, and they are using circular knitting needles and the continental method, which is very similar to using a crochet hook. So I just encourage you to pick that up. The yarn hold for how you hold your yarn is the same as what you probably do now, which is what attracted me to try that. Ah, we have Angela Rios in our chat too. She says, love Fair Isle. After I finish first sweater, I'll try that. Yeah, and also I have to mention too, the book that I showed you with the sweater in it, it's not available right now at Knit Picks, unfortunately. They do have other sweaters, but it's out of stock, so I don't know if they're going to restock or not. I'll see if I can find out, but it's a wonderful book, and there's another sweater in that book. If I finish this and I'm happy with it, there's another sweater with an even tighter knit that I want to try with lots of greens in it, and greens and blues, and again a very beautiful yoke. So I can't wait. It's like I'm already looking towards the next project here, but I got to work it in. Ah, we have Freaky Geek. It says, nice work for your first time. Thank you, Freaky Geek. Yeah, it took me a while to take on a sweater. We have okay. Let's see. We have Mardell 3 in the chat. I haven't seen your name yet today. It's good to have you there. She says, I'm just starting a crochet project of yours. I need to remember to count the stitches. Yeah, some of these are heavy on counting. Not all, but a lot. Oh, wow. Hannah has a question. Will I be restocking the Aran Afghans to crochet books on Amazon? That's a good question. That has been out of print for at least 5 or 6 years. Unfortunately, they only have the PDF available. I used to have some available, but I sold out of the ones that I had here. I have no idea why they decided to let that go out of print, but they did. So the bottom, yeah, Hannah says they're listed as over $100 on there. The bottom line is they made a corporate decision that never involved me. They don't involve me in anything. So another reason, honestly, I mean, I love Leisure Arts. I'm thankful to have been able to work with them over the years, and I do think they're one of the better publishers around, probably one of the best. But I don't have any. Once I sell designs to a publisher, they own them. They have total control, whether they're correct or not, and they're free to change things up however they want. So that's one reason why I really am leaning heavily on self-publication these days, because I think it just blesses me more. If there are any issues, I can fix the issues immediately. I can, I can make sure that there aren't any issues going out initially. If somebody makes a mistake at corporate with these other publishers, and they pick the wrong file out of their, like they did with one of my books, unfortunately, once they pick the wrong file out of their minied file to go to print with, and it's not the right one, they should have picked the more updated one or what have you. I have no control over that, but I get the blame. So I decided if I'm going to get the blame for problems and errata and stuff, I'm going to be the one with my hands on it, and not 15 other people I've never met. So, but anyway, corporate did make the decision to let that go out of publication, even though at a time when cables are pretty big in our industry. Don't ask why they did that. I don't know. That was my first publication too, my first contract and everything. So it was kind of sad when it went out, but that's another reason why I also came out with 4 seasons of cable crochet. So they're different cabling styles, but anyway, that's why I'm doing more of my own. Okay. Jane Chapman asks, since the book is out of print, can you publish it on your own? I cannot, Jane, I'm sorry, because I take contracts very seriously. which is why some of the patterns on my watch channel I cannot offer you, and I can't even resell them, because once I sign a contract that says and early on when you were beginning designing, and back in the early days, this was over 10, 12 years ago that I signed that contract. It was my first contract, and they didn't have they don't have the option of shared rights like I can sometimes get now with Annie's, which is why I like publishing with Crochet World magazine, because we can share the design, so they can have the rights to publish, but I can also retain the rights of ownership at the same time. It gets really complicated, you almost have to be a lawyer on some of these things, but no, once I sell a design, I I I am bound by my word to keep my word, which is why I'm very careful to not infringe on other people's terrain or territory, or to steal their designs, and promote stuff extremely similar to somebody else's, because I want it to be my own work, not somebody else's. There's enough stealing going on, and it's wrong, and I'm not going to belabor that point, because I know in my heart, and I know that they will be held accountable, if not here, there, they will be held accountable. So, and I fear that, I don't want to enter the pearly gates, and then the first thing that God wants to talk to me about is, I want to talk to you about your copyright infringements, young lady. I mean, I don't want to have to, I want to have a clean heart as far as that goes. I mean, I'm going to have plenty of things to answer for, believe me. And that's why I trust in Jesus to cover all of that for me, because he is my savior and he rocks. But I'm going to have plenty to account for. I don't want to have to account for stealing somebody else's designs or infringing on copyright. So even if it's my own design, I have to be careful. I cannot, I really wish I could, buy them back, but they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. The contract has been signed. So, and I do, like I say, I take that very, very seriously. All right. We've got a lot more going on in the chat, and it's already, oh my goodness, it's 1:12. Well, I do need, I will tell you one more thing, and then I want to read you a word of encouragement before I go. In case you didn't hear from last week, I will be teaching, it looks like I will be teaching at CGOA in New Orleans this coming July. Yay! I've never been to New Orleans, so I'm really excited about going there. We're going to be hopefully not dodging a hurricane or anything, because it's smack dab in the middle of hurricane season. But I guess that makes it that much more exciting. Actually, I'm not joking. I don't want to joke about that. I really pray that the weather is not an issue. But really looking forward to New Orleans this July. We'll be teaching one or two of the classes that I mentioned earlier, plus another one on crochet cables, on I Love Crochet Cables. It's going to be a fun class, 3-hour class. So be on the lookout for that in the future. The signups have not been released yet, but as soon as they do, as soon as they are, I will let you know. Okay. Well, let me end with some encouragement. I read this morning, and I thought this would be very good. Just a good reminder. There, as you know, so many negative things we could focus on, and I try to steer clear of that for this time, because as much as possible, because there's just so much good in the world that gets overshadowed because of all the negativity. So I like to end with a word of hope, and this is from Psalm 92. I'm going to read verses 1 through 4, and it says, a song for the Sabbath. It is good to give thanks to the Lord, to sing praises to your name, O Most High, to declare your steadfast love in the morning and your faithfulness by night, to the music of the lute and the harp, to the melody of the lyre. For you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work. At the works of your hands I sing for joy. So I wish you all a wonderful week. Stay safe during that snowstorm, and Lord willing, we will see you here next week. Bye-bye. God bless.